Well, the Respect for Marriage Act passed. It did pass, and it's going to get codified into law. President Biden is going to sign it. It passed, but not before conservative Republicans like Congressman Jim Jordan put up a fight. Congressman Jim Jordan is probably going to be the next chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, so get used to him. He said the Respect for Marriage Act is, quote, the wrong way to go. He voted against it yesterday. In 2015, Jim Jordan introduced legislation to pass a constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage. He really hates same-sex marriage. He's uptight when it comes to homosexuals because he was the assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State University from 1987 until 1995. And during that period, the wrestling team's physician, Dr. Richard Strauss, was accused of sexually assaulting 177 young men on the team. Dr. Strauss, when the investigation began, committed suicide. 4 years ago, at least 8 former wrestlers on the team said Jim Jordan, Congressman Jim Jordan, knew about the sexual abuse but did nothing to stop it. Congressman Jim Jordan's locker was right next to Dr. Strauss's, and Jim Jordan has refused to cooperate with the investigation. It's an ongoing investigation. The Cleveland Plain Dealer published an editorial 4 years ago asking Jim Jordan to finally tell what he knew. Meanwhile, several lawsuits are pending against Congressman Jim Jordan, one of which accuses Jordan of witness tampering. This is going to be the new chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. During the debate on the Respect for Marriage Act yesterday, Democrats brought up the killing at the gay nightclub in Colorado Springs last month, and to his credit, Jim Jordan condemned the shooting.
What happened in Colorado, as the gentleman referenced, was wrong as wrong could be. We all understand that.
Thank you. You know, maybe we can't agree on same-sex marriage, but even Jim Jordan and I can agree that shooting up a gay bar, killing 5 people, injuring dozens on drag night is a bad thing. Oh, wait, Jim Jordan wants to add something?
But you know what else is wrong?
What else is wrong? Being an assistant wrestling coach, but not knowing the team doctor molested 177 of the men you're coaching? That would be wrong. Expecting anyone to believe that not a single one of those 177 wrestlers came to you and said, Dr. Strauss just tried to give me a hand job in the sauna? That would be pretty wrong. Or even worse, Jim Jordan being an assistant wrestling coach and not knowing that 177 guys on your team had been molested by the team doctor. Not knowing. What kind of coach, what kind of leader, what kind of future government official, what kind of future chairman of the House Judiciary Committee could not know that the 177 wrestlers he was supposed to be taking care of were molested by the team physician, Jim Jordan? It is worse that you don't know. So you asked what else is wrong? I'm going to say that several of those things are wrong too, but you tell me what else is wrong. You said shooting up a gay nightclub is wrong, and then you said, you know what else is wrong? What else is wrong?
The 100 churches and crisis pregnancy centers that were attacked in the aftermath of the Dobbs decision. Actually, when the leak happened, dozens and dozens of those attacks happened between the leak of the opinion and the opinion itself, all designed to intimidate the Supreme Court.
This is a man who lies. He is an immoral practitioner, not even of false equivalencies. This is just a lie. Yes, there have been, since the Dobbs decision, some vandalism at some churches and pregnancy centers that advise people to not get an abortion. But nobody has shot up a church, Jim Jordan. Some windows were broken. There's been some graffiti. There are some websites that keep track of these attacks on churches and crisis pregnancy centers. And crisis pregnancy centers are run by religious organizations, and they counsel women, sometimes under false premises, against getting an abortion. And so they've been spray painted by pro-choice activists. Some windows have been broken. That is in no way like somebody shooting up a gay bar, killing 5 and injuring dozens. Yes, some churches and pregnancy centers were vandalized. It's wrong. Not even close. It's not the same thing. Unlike these churches and pregnancy centers, abortion clinics get firebombed. Abortion doctors get assassinated. According to Forbes, most crimes against abortion providers increased last year. Stalking of abortion doctors, stalking of nurses, the practitioners, increased by 600% in 1 year. Blockades, barring access to the abortion clinics, up 500%. Suspicious packages being sent to abortion clinics, up 163%. People invading abortion facilities and screaming and threatening, up 129%. This is from Forbes. Assault and battery of abortion doctors and nurses, up 128%. Since abortion was legalized in the 1970s, the National Abortion Federation has been keeping track of the attacks on clinics, doctors, abortion providers, and nurses. Since 1977, there have been 11 murders of abortion doctors. There have been 42 bombings, 196 arson attacks, and 491 assaults, physical assaults on nurses and doctors. This is not even close. To bring up the 100 churches and pregnancy centers that got graffitied after the Dobbs decision is malicious. Well, the argument went back to the Judiciary Committee, where Congressman Ted Lieu took exception to Republicans like Jim Jordan charging that the violence was really coming from the left and not the right. Here is Congressman Ted Lieu.
And when we talk about actual political violence, you know who had their skull hit by a hammer? It was a spouse of the Speaker of the House. Multiple Republicans made fun of that. They circulated conspiracy theories. They said all sorts of things that were not true. Republicans should be ashamed for doing that. So please stop whining about threats to Supreme Court justices when the actual violence of a person being hit in the head with a hammer, had to go to surgery, was a spouse of the Democratic Speaker of the House.
Then Congressman Eric Swalwell asked Jim Jordan to denounce President Trump's call to suspend the Constitution and reinstate him as president. That's a reasonable question to ask of the future chairman of the House Judiciary Committee.
Yes, well, Mr. Jordan denounced Donald Trump's termination of the Constitution.
President Trump has clarified his comments regarding the Constitution. He put out another post, I think a day or so later, maybe the next day, I can't recall.
And that was all he had to say. Yes, Donald Trump clarified that he didn't want to suspend the entire Constitution. He basically said just the articles and clauses that would prevent him from being reinstated as president. That is the future chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan,